welcome to another episode of And Action. Today we're presenting to you guys a movie, Dark Ties by Biodun Stephen.
And like you guys who popularly know, we're always reviewing the latest movies.
Yes.
But this one is a little different. It's not necessarily the latest, but we think it's worth the while. It's worth learning from. It's worth viewing, and it's worth taking notes about.
Yes.
So let's jump right into Dark Ties. So Dark Ties stars 4 main characters, right? Korean Ajayi, who is basically playing Fayokumi, and he's the son to Yetunde, who is basically played by Biodun Stephen. And then on the other side of the world, we have Deyemi Okolawo playing T, alongside Tenyola Aladese, his best friend, who is Naza. So Naza and T are running a successful tech company. Mm-hmm. And on the other side of the world, we have Fayo and Yetunde, his mom, and they're just enjoying a beautiful mother-son relationship. Unfortunately for Fayo, Yetunde has a terminal illness, and she ends up passing away. And on her dying bed, she basically hopes to rekindle the father-son relationship between Fayo and T. So the movie goes with Fayo basically trying to have a meeting with his father, T. But T is a player, man. He sleeps with everything in skirts, very promiscuous. He's looking for no connection with the female gender. So one night stands, that's his motto. And he wants nothing to do with Fayo. And Fayo goes on this search of trying to making his mother's last wish come true. And he pushes until he gets a meeting with T. And you can guess what happens from there.
Yes, and that's how the beautiful story unravels.
Beautiful story, Nadia.
Yes,
Do you think this story is beautiful?
No, it's beautiful in the acting.
Yes.
It's beautiful in how they portrayed it, but it's sad in just the background of it.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
And how, sadly, Fayo came from a very nasty origin,
yes.
I would say, something that is very frowned upon.
Yes.
Became frowned upon. But plot twist, basically, his mom, who he loves and adores, at a young age, she was almost the housemaid for T's family.
Yeah.
And when she was the housemaid, T was very young. So let's picture around 10 years old, and she was a very much older woman.
Yeah, like say T was like 10 or 12.
Yes, very
and Yetunde
young.
was around the age of like 20-something.
Yes. And she basically rapes him, just to put it out there.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't say they sleep together, because
that's not what I'm going to do.
Because then it would be like it's love, right?
Yeah.
She basically takes advantage of a young, innocent boy and basically opens his world into sex.
Yeah.
And it was very heartbreaking. And even when I watched it, I said, whoa, this was not what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Because I kept wondering, I said, they're not about to make me be a father to this big grown man.
Yeah, because once you watch the movie, you realize that they're actually within the same decade.
Yeah.
Yes, about 10 years apart.
Because I think he was should be in like early 20s, and Deyemi is like still like almost early
40s.
Was it 40s?
Yes, early 40s. Yeah.
I was estimating like 30s.
Early
too,
40s, yeah.
But yeah, but it was just like, whoa. And I was like, these people, and then when I found it, I was like, and how did you feel too when you...
Yeah, so basically, Nadia brings up a great point. We're not going to sugarcoat this and say, oh, they had like a relationship.
Yeah.
No, this is not a relationship. What made this, I know we're like basically crushing the storyline for you guys, and it's a spoiler. Sorry we're spoiling it for you. But why we picked this movie to review was because, we don't usually get spaces for men to open up emotionally about things like this.
Or even stories about men.
Yes.
And their own traumas.
Exactly.
Too, so.
And that's why I really like Biodun Stephen as a writer, a director, and a producer. She's one of those people that gets to the heart of like storytelling. Mm-hmm. She knows how to tell a good story and to address some of the plights that we face within the African community.
Yes.
And I particularly love the story, like I said, because children, men, especially African Black men, do not get spaces where they are vulnerable. Mm-hmm. They do not get stories where they are the victims and they are able to show vulnerability. So, and I found this very worthwhile, especially being written by an African slash black woman. So I feel like it's almost like it's like it helps shows that she's validating the male experience.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I also struggled with in the movie, I don't know if you struggled with that, was like, how were you able to, like, was basically they miss promiscuity. I really struggled with that. And I feel like a lot of men in the community use promiscuity to hide some of the emotional traumas that they've been through. So, like...
So, for me, I feel... So, the way he handled things, of course, I don't think was the right way. But I wouldn't even want to point it to him. I would like to spin it to his parents, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, because they did find out that...
they did?
Yes, because that's why they kicked out the maid at the end. That Yetunde and her son had this weird relationship.
Yeah.
And even after that, the mom never even took to question T. And even too, when T was growing up with multiple housemates coming in, he was sleeping with this women.
Like, he actually tried to rape
one because that's what he thought.
Like, that way he thought...
was normal.
Yes, he thought it was normal for him to sleep with the housemates. Yes. So when Yetunde left, he would actually, like...
When a new maid comes in,
he would try to rape them. And the mom eventually...
found out and whooped him very well.
He said they beat me black and blue.
But it's not just to beat them, right?
Exactly.
We have to beat and have that conversation. Yes. Because now she has bit, but then everything has been through, he's still going through.
Yeah.
Because these women still come in and they're still much older than him and they still take advantage too of his mindset because he's still young.
Yeah.
So after the second maid comes in, multiple comes in, and he himself admits, I was sleeping with them one after another.
Yeah.
And they themselves too, as we don't really see men hurting, right?
Yeah.
So they don't even see a little boy, now just seeing a man.
Yeah.
Which is another topic that we have to speak about, how we are making our young boys to be men.
Yeah.
And they're not men.
Yeah.
And this is what these younger mates came in and they looked at T and thought he was a man.
Yeah.
But he was just a hurt boy that just happened to be in a poor circumstance.
Nadia, you brought up very, very two important points that I think that from a community perspective, we need to take a look at.
Yes.
Africans were very big on this saying called, do not spare the rod and spoil the child. I agree. But the rod is not the solution for every situation
and for every child.
And for every child. And this was not one of the situations. Like, it was clearly seen by T's mom. He had an unhealthy attachment to Yetunde, and she ended up like separating them by sending Yetunde away. But at the core of it, she did not address what her son was displaying.
Yes.
She never sat down as a mother. But you even asked as a mother, where was the father? Like, bro.
Yeah, because in this movie...
Yeah, like, where was the father?
We never understood if
these are things
the
that...
mom was a single mom or anything.
See.
Fathers, come forward.
You people should come forward. Because there's an age where a boy child gets that conversation should be handled man to man.
Yes.
As in, yes, mothers notice these things because they are mothers, and also because, no offense, but African society has put a lot of the raising up of a child on the mother, and have relegated the role of provider status, I don't know what that means, to a father. And when we talk about provider status, financial provision. So it's like, where was the father? Because I see why it might feel uncomfortable for a woman to admit that maybe my 10-year-old child or my 12-year-old child is having some kind of like unhealthy connection with a grown woman. But I feel like if a father was in the picture, it will help mitigate that conversation, right? And you people will see the full circle moment when we come back to talk about T and Fire, their father-son relationship as the movie progressed. But again, I think you brought up a very good point about the mother beating T, but never really getting to the bottom of the reason for that action.
Like, why did you think that was okay?
Yeah, like, why did you think that was okay? And it's like, why don't you get to the bottom of it so you can solve this issue? And I feel like, yes, do not spare the rod and spoil the child. But a lot of times, I feel like the rod is used as the easy solution.
Yes.
Because parents don't actually want to get to the root cause.
They don't want to sit
of
down
what
and
is
have those
affecting
conversations.
of what is affecting their children. They don't want to deal with those traumas. They don't want to deal with the truth. So they rather just blanket it and they use the rod. That's your punishment. But no, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Have a conversation with your children. If you're a parent sitting in the house with a child who is having or displaying an abnormal behavior, the rod is not your immediate solution. You have to have a conversation. Why is this child acting this way? Sometimes they're getting bullied in school. Sometimes they're getting harassed. But you just pick up a cane, fion, 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 and you think that that's a solution.
Or maybe
it is not.
In the male child's case, it would be like, you're a man.
Yes.
You need to suck it up.
Yeah.
You're a man. Or
men don't cry.
Or men don't cry. Or even now it has become a pride if a young child starts getting into sexual stuff at such a young age.
Yeah.
And it's not okay. Let's stop normalizing that.
And then the funny thing too in our society, they'll say when they see a cute boy, they'll be like, oh, he's going to be a player.
Yes.
And we start manifesting
that at such a young age.
Into our young men. And then when you see young men who are being sexually overzealous, right? Like they are out there frolicking with young girls, they get a badge of honor.
Yes, they said that's the men.
That's how they're becoming a man. It's like men get a badge of honor for being promiscuous. And that was T's story, because when he was basically sleeping with this housemate.
That's just how it progressed.
And that's how it progressed. And eventually it became a part and parcel of who he was. And so we need to really address the standards of which we raise our boy children. And we need to understand that it is sickening. It is not psychologically right for one human being to be exposed to that many body counts. Be it a woman, be it a man. We just reviewed a movie where a woman was on the other side. It is not okay. And our society needs to stop normalizing it.
Yes.
And I can bet you that a lot of men who do this sexual overzealous promiscuity things and men who have either been raped or men who have actually been heartbroken by a woman. So they are on this revenge trip. But it is not normal.
Plan is to
destroy
everybody.
Yes, it is not normal. We're not normalizing you in 2026. What we're going to do, we're going to send you to the psychotherapist because that's what you're going through. We're not shaming you, but we are coming to the conclusion that there is something wrong with that kind of behavior. What we're not going to do in 2026 is normalize bad behavior.
And I think another hard question that we might have to even put up is saying, maybe these hard conversations are hard for the parents to have with the kids because maybe the parents too have been through it. So maybe having those conversations is like almost admitting to yourself that I've been through that.
But that's a good point that you brought up.
And we have to almost have those conversations to end the traumas so that they don't spread.
Sister girl, you're fast forwarding us to the end of the movie.
Oh.
But another thing that we also have to discuss, right, is the relationship between Naza and T, right? Yes. We see Naza, who is best friends with T.
For 15 years, guys.
15 years. She sees this man running up on women like pop, pop, pop.
Sometimes she even plays as a way for him to get out of the situation as his wife.
Yes.
Or as the girlfriend who's coming to, I'm like, 15 years, you want to be doing that?
Yeah. But the thing too is that let's think about as how under the name of love, we enable our friends to keep living below character. For 15 years, she knew this man. And
she knew his past.
She knew his past. She knew that what he was going through. But she never said, you know what, this behavior you're exhibiting, you need to see a therapist. She never drew a hard line to say, you know what, I cannot condone with this kind of character because it's not acceptable to me. So it should not be acceptable for me to accept it in you. She just tolerates it.
And so herself with that.
Why do we do this as friends in relationship? Why do we entertain bad behavior?
I think it all boils down to the conversations. People are just scared of losing people, you know? And I think from the movie too, we don't also get to know Naza's life because the movie really was focusing on the dynamic between T and his son. Yeah. So I can understand why I didn't really show it. But as women too, and as people, because I also know people too fall in situations like that where they stick around to very toxic behaviors. But but we as a society, we need to stop normalizing it.
Yeah.
And be able to call it out.
Yeah.
And be able to say, friend, I need you to go to therapy. Because not only are we trying to help them, you're also helping yourself. Because if you're so much around that type of energy, what would you become too?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's not normal.
It's not normal. I thank you for that answer, because for me personally, I could not understand as a woman how she had a male friend that would just would do that to women, like invalidate.
Because she too is a woman.
Yes. And it's like, that's why for me, right, I've never understood women who allowed their husbands go to strip clubs. I am so sorry. I've seen that. To be honest, I've seen that a lot. Like, I've seen where on people's wedding days, the normal activity is to go to the strip club.
Like
and then their wives actually sit there and they normalize this behavior. I'm like, you are a woman. How do you support a man objectifying another woman? How do you think that you are spared from him coming home to objectify you? But for me, that's what I saw Naza as. I saw Naza as an enabler.
Enabler, yes.
Yeah, it's like you have this friend who is. I'm sorry if I come up across as cutthroat, but look, the rubbish I cannot tolerate in myself, I will not tolerate in somebody else.
Yes.
Because I highly believe in show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are.
Yes.
So for me, I saw Naza as an enabler, and I saw Naza as somebody who doesn't have an understanding of love, because part of love is discipline. It's telling people, the ability to tell people, no, that's bad behavior. And if you cannot change, then this relationship needs to end.
Yes.
That's just who I am. If you don't agree, put your comments down below. Let's know where you stand on topics like this.
Yes.
But fast forward.
I want us to even shift it to, let's question Yetunde for a minute. Yetunde, why? Yetunde, why? He was so young.
Yeah.
And it's so funny how she grew up to have this beautiful
son
relationship with her son. So I could imagine also maybe the guilt that had in her heart. But the also question I would ask her why did you wait all these years? Why couldn't you even to some degree lift up this past of this man's shoulders, right? Because she almost sent forth the son. For me, I would call it a chicken way out. Because it's like, okay, I've done what I've done. To in her world, she has redeemed herself because she has raised up this young man, right? And now she's like, okay, but somebody else is hurting. She knows where he is. And she's like, oh, go and meet your father. You guys, you people fix the issue.
No, see, Yetunde, mothers, I know we're always on social media. We always say, oh, fathers, be aware with your daughters, blah, blah, blah. Parents, every young child you have, it is your responsibility to take care of that child.
Yes.
Predators do not assume any type of gender. They come in all shapes, form, and sizes. They come as the teacher in school, who can be a man or a woman. It comes as a coach, who can be a man or a woman. It can, and trust me, and now we even live in a society where we have same-sex relationships. So do not assume that just because your boy child is going to that male coach's house, there is nothing wrong with it. Yeah. Or your daughter is going to the field. No. You need to guard your children. Look, children are a precious gift from God. I've never understood parents who are not intentional about your children. There are some parents who will sleep and not even know where their children are at. There are some parents who, if you even ask them that, what is your child posting on social media? They don't even know.
Yes.
It is very careless of any parent to sit in a surrounding and not protect the interest of your children. And this is why we come down again to call this situation a rape. Because yet African culture, we are not able to come to this idea that men can actually be raped. Yes, they can. And I'm going to be very blunt because I'm a doctor. Just because somebody gets aroused doesn't mean they're not getting abused. Let me point that out. Arousal is a physiological response, okay? Rape is mental. That's why they tell you no means no. When somebody says no, it means no. Yes, their body might be looking like yes, but they are saying no. So women, please refrain from touching men a certain way. And I've seen this in the culture where women would just come on somebody's brother, on somebody's husband, on somebody's father, on somebody. No, stop. Keep your hands to yourself. Don't go in for a hug. Before you hug somebody, make sure you have an understanding with that person that your relationship is one that facilitates body-to-body connection, okay? Men can actually be raped. I know we come from a culture that has over-sexualized men. So therefore, when men are having sexual activity or a sexual experience, it's really hard for them to be vulnerable to say they have been raped. I actually know quite a few men that opened up that have been raped. That have been, yes, I actually do. And it's very sad. It's quite sad that men don't talk about it. Because they're almost being told that you are lucky, that you've almost gotten a woman, so you are lucky for that experience. That's not right. To any young boys sitting there, if you have anybody, any aunties, please stop seeing young boys and calling them my husband. They are not your husband. Please stop. It is inappropriate. And I'm focusing on men today, and that's why I love so much about Biodun Stephen's movie, because this movie really gives us the ecosystem to talk about sexuality and sexual abuse from a male lens and from a male perspective. If you're a young boy and you have this auntie that keeps coming around and he's touching you funny, she's touching you funny, or an uncle, an uncle too, an uncle. Because we also come from a culture where a lot of people are in the closet but do not want to admit it. So if you also, let me be very blunt, if you're a young boy and you have anybody that's touching you very uncomfortable, please be empowered to tell them, stop. Please be empowered to tell your parents. Please be empowered to know that it is inappropriate. You're not lucky. You're not, what is it called, the catch. You're not a player. Please tell them, stop, okay?
It's not a bucket list that you
Yes.
No.
Because these things have down effects. They have side effects. And as you can clearly see, T was dealing with those side effects.
And you see that those side effects change from a young kid all the way to a grown man.
Yes.
He was still living it. And because of that, he wasn't even able to love.
Yes, he didn't have any relationship. Imagine living your life incapable of love. He said it himself.
The only person he was able to keep in his atmosphere was Nazar.
And that's only because Nazar had to dump herself down to be able to be friends with him.
To be able to stay in that atmosphere for that long.
Yes, and think about it too. He was raped and he became a rapist. Because he said it in his story. He said, every maid that came, I tried to, because to me that was normal. And there are a lot of men who walk around here, because they have been raped, they think it's normal. They don't even know where the boundaries are. So please do not protect your sons. Protect your sons. Protect your children. It is your responsibility as a parent. Do not take the easy way out and use the cane for everything. Sit down at home, talk to your children, understand where they're coming from. And you know another thing that I've noticed, children who come from households where they have a parent that's continuously cheating, they also assume this over-sexualized tendency. So please, parents, please, it is your responsibility to protect the integrity of your children. If you want to be dirty, please hide it.
As best.
It's like, don't let your child be walking out here and your friends, I saw your father somewhere. Come on. Come on. And I say fathers because we come from a culture where if it's a mother, the whole world will know. And that marriage will not hold. But if it's a father, it's okay. It's okay. That's why we're emphasizing on this. Protect your children, not only for themselves, but for their future partners.
Yes, and we need to shift the conversation because a very big part of it too is now was spoken about him as a kid. Now let's go to him in adulthood.
Yes.
And how when Fayo found him.
Yes.
How did we see that relationship go? Because the way it started was very rough.
Yes.
And very rocky, right? Because to some degree, him accepting Fayo was him basically opening back that chapter that he has closed.
Yes, yeah.
So imagine the emotional, and it was, Demi was such a good actor because there was a scene in the movie where he opened the letter and there was like a wall and he does the whole wall scene where you just suck in and you hold your head and
you are fantabulous.
Yes, and I was like,
wherever you went to study how to act, Keep it up. We're so proud of you.
And what makes a good actor or an actress is you being able to set them apart from who they are as an individual.
Yes.
And that's why I also give a very big kudos to Fayo, because maybe you might see his age and the way he acted, there might be two different things.
Yeah.
He was really able to bring out that young boy.
Yes.
Because even the way he spoke was very like...
Yeah, like he kept accusing. He was like, "Oh, deadbeat fathers. Why? Because when I started watching the movie too, I thought Deyemi was a deadbeat father.
Yeah.
But as the movie unfolded, that's why I said Biodun has some really great movies. Like this lady,
team, they put their heart and soul in
this lady
one.
put her heart and soul into writing movies. Like, and she writes very cultural, sociologically relevant movies.
Yes.
Like, when I saw it, I thought Deyemi was a deadbeat dad. I was like, in my head, this is what I was saying. I was like, see, these women that be struggling and raising their children by themselves under the guys that they want to pepper men. No, I really thought, and that's what Fayo basically thought about his dad.
Yeah.
Fayo thought his dad was deadbeat.
If so he came
on the podcast like us now.
Oh, you deadbeat dad! I think I was like, oh, Gen Z.
Yes. And then the funny thing too, another thing, Fayo played it so well. Like when he came to Deyemi's house finally. And they sat down and Deyemi told him the story.
Yes.
He grew so confused. He was like, I'm so. Like, imagine a woman who has been raped and women were always forced to like grow up with that, with the baby. Yeah. But you still show so much love to the child that the child doesn't think that they are from a rape situation.
Yes.
But think about a child in adulthood who has hated his dad, and for the dad to now tell the child that
your mom was the one who
raped me.
And this is a woman that to Fayo was all in all.
Yes, he was like, my mother could
like,
do no
even
wrong.
when you watch the movie, he was such a baby boy.
Yeah, he was such a mama's boy.
Yeah, and they had such a good connection. And then imagine she dies, and then that is like, did I really know this woman, right?
Yeah.
But I think too, the movie did not also show maybe how that might have changed his ideology or his mom.
Yes.
Which I think maybe could have also added another level of oomph to what the movie was.
Like his contemplation.
Yes.
Like if they would have gone through him piecing and bogging through that mind space. But again, that is the complexity. Like, imagine if it was a woman, we will see drama here. We will be on the screen like men are scum. But no, bro. When I watched this movie, I was like, wow.
That was silent. I put her on, guys. I put her on.
I was silent. I was like, wow. I know we always talk about male sexuality and stuff, but I was like, for a man to be raped and for his consciousness to know he had been raped, because sometimes you want to brush it off like, no, it was a sexual experience. No, Deyemi cried.
He cried.
He cried. He said,
he cried.
I was raped and I started raping. And then when he now grew as an adult, because as a child, he's like, I'll just go climb on these girls. But now as an adult, he's a hunk. He can go up to women, ask for it, and they'll give it. But to see a man cry over things that a lot of the society has normalized, we need to do better.
Yes.
We need to do better. We should not.
Definitely.
We need to heal. And I want to applaud T in this movie because T basically breaks a generational curse.
Yes. Because if not, he wouldn't even have a generation.
Yes.
Even how he was going, he would have.
He would have a generation because he'll have a blood tie. But Fayo will continue on this streak of hating. Because for Fayo to come on board with his father, he needed to have known this truth about his mother, right? So Tib was able to break generational curse because he was able to confront his past. I think a lot of us fathers are not confronting the past. And I want to appreciate every father who is out there that never had a father figure, that never had a mother figure, or had gone through so much strife growing up, and yet every day they show up as great fathers to their daughters and to their sons. I just want to take this moment to clap for you because you're breaking a generational trauma. You're building something that would precede you. And that's what he did for Fayo. Because he was able, because when he finally told Fayo the truth, and Fayo was so confused, Fayo was like, you know what, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Let me leave. The whole time He was like, come, you're my son.
It's okay.
Like, you're the only thing I have. He's like,
don't leave.
He's like, don't leave. He even offered him alcohol.
He said, how old are you to drink?
Let's drink alcohol together. So you could see that in that moment, they were finding their healing together.
Because to some extent, for a long time, T was by himself.
Yes.
Right? So it's basically now him welcoming his feelings back again. To be able to put down maybe any ego.
Yes, to love.
And be able to love, and not just love himself, but love somebody else.
Yes.
Which I love that they showed him loving his son first.
Yes.
Before they showed him loving Naza.
I love that. Let's get into Naza.
I really like that.
Let's get into Naza, because
him and Naza, I think for her even being there for 15 years shows she's a strong woman.
No, we're not gonna do that.
No, she's not a strong woman. Sorry, guys.
She's not. No, we're not gonna do that.
She's not.
See, let me tell you. So this is what happened with Naza and T. Naza and T, in all their escapades of 15 years, they end up one night with T going through everything he has been going through. Naza and T kiss. And then the next day, Naza walks in on T having a sexual encounter with another woman. And she's so heartbroken. And to me, I'm like, what did you expect?
Yeah,
like,
it wasn't gonna go.
See, ladies,
it wasn't gonna watch over.
Ladies,
overnight.
when you see a broken man, let me tell you the solution. Recognize his brokenness and give him space to heal from his brokenness. Look, we women keep fumbling ourselves. You see a man who maybe his ex left him and you are here, and then he'll tell you that I don't want to marry you because I cannot trust women. See, auntie, it is not your place to heal anybody. You're not Jesus. You're not the Holy Spirit. Love can happen from a distance. Because when you sit in that situation and you fight and you fight and you fight, eventually you can fight no more. What it also shows is that you have no value for yourself. And what you're also telling that man is because you don't have value for yourself, he cannot have value in you. And that was Naza's biggest mistake. Yes, she stayed with T for 15 years because of a friendship. But you remember, she has to dumb down her own level, because every time that man sleeps with a different woman, she'll enter the hotel like she's his pretend wife. Oh, how can you look at what she had. Like, imagine. Like, I've seen a lot of women who do this.
But see, at the end of the day, what you said was about distance. She did give him the distance, because I think she finally chose herself to walk away.
Yes.
The time that she quit the job, she said, I can't do this, and she walked away. And she chose herself. Amy chose himself, chose his son, and he was able to choose her back, right?
Yeah.
That was to show the healing process.
But then now look at the way Amy did her before, and Amy did her later.
I
also think that, yes, exactly. I also think for a relationship to proceed with healthy, there's a reason why the Bible tells us, sorry, I'm about to preach. There's a reason why the Bible tells us, let's not fornicate. Because God wanted to preserve our experience, right? Once somebody cheats on you, and once somebody is a cheater, that experience doesn't resolve overnight.
Yeah,
it takes so much work to be done to be able to trust that person again, and that's what the movies don't show us. That's where the movies don't show us.
The movies show us the overnight.
The movies tell us they lived happily ever after, but that's not how trust works. Once trust is broken, it takes so long to resolve it. That's why I tell you as a woman, if you meet a man who is recovering from a breakup and he tells you, oh, I cannot marry you, I cannot date you because the person, leave him alone. Let him heal. See, if he is, now when he has healed and he comes back to you, it's meant to be. If he heals and goes to another one, good and fine. Yeah. It was not meant to be yours. But what I've seen a lot of women are die there. They'll be parading you on the streets. Like you don't even have integrity and shame for yourself. And then they'll ask you, you are doing this for this man, you are doing that for this man, cooking in his house, giving his family food. Why are you there? Oh, because he's still healing. It is not your place.
Let him finish.
Healing is a self-journey.
Yes.
It's not two people that go on it. It's one person.
And with T,
and that was what Naza realized. Yeah. And that's when she walked away, and T was now able to do this thing for himself.
And even when he came back, she was still choosing herself, because she told him, we can't just act like what you were doing
never
will
happened.
never happen. She was like, you need to go on this journey. And he was like, I do.
Yeah.
And he was able to go to therapy.
Yes.
After so long. And that's another topic that we need to also
normalize therapy.
Going to therapy, seeking help.
Yes.
Right? If you can't find it from in-home, you need to use your resources. There's no more excuse where we can say, we don't know.
Don't let society lie to you that men don't cry.
Yeah.
Men cry.
Please cry.
Please cry. Enter your closet, cry. The one thing I'll tell every man and every woman, you want to be vulnerable, but you want to choose who to be vulnerable about. The mistake people make is that they do not sequester their crowd. They think that every crowd they meet is meant for vulnerability, but that's not the case. You want to be able to find your safe space and be vulnerable to those people.
Yes.
But the most important thing we're closing this conversation with is that people need to allow people to go on their healing journey.
Break those dark ties, guys.
Yes, dark ties. Because there was a dark tie between T and Yetunde, a dark tie between T and Naza, a dark tie between Fire and his father.
Yes.
We need to start breaking these ties in our community.
Yes.
By any means necessary, whether it's therapy, whether it's God, whether it's walking away and valuing your own mental health and your space and valuing yourself as a person and knowing that you deserve better, we need to start breaking those ties. If you agree with us, comment, like and subscribe. If you disagree, still please comment.
Because we want to know why you disagree.
Yes.
And we're happy you guys were able to sit with us as we review this beautiful movie.
Very beautiful.
And we're still going to keep putting you guys on. This is just the beginning.
Of course.
They don't even know. Hey, I watch movies for a living.
We're professional movie watchers.
But thank you guys for joining us. And this is another episode of Action.